12 months, 12 causes, in partnership with Royal Emerald Pharmaceuticals.
My name is Fred Bell. I'm the vice chairman of the Palm Springs Air Museum. Well, the Air Museum was started by Bob Pond, originally, who was a U.S. Navy Reserve pilot, and he flew during World War II. And he never forgot aviation, and as he became more accomplished in business, he started acquiring World War II airplanes. He had a museum in Minnesota, and he had 14 airplanes there, and eventually he moved to Palm Springs. Palm Springs was a military transport base during World War II. They had a lot of reserve aircraft here. In fact, the whole area down in the middle of Palm Springs at one time was an air base. And so there were a lot of military aircraft here. So it has a long history with military aviation. I think we are a touchstone to the American experience. We go all the way back to the Wright brothers in flight, all the way up to the stealth fighter, which we're just adding as an exhibit. And we're a living history museum. We actually fly our airplanes, which is very rare in the United States. We have 75 airplanes in inventory. We fly about 10. But as a living history museum, not only can we touch on these great stories of the veterans, but we can get kids excited about science, technology, mathematics, and what the future is, which was really Mars and spaceflight. The airplanes are really artifacts. We have no barriers here, as you can see all the aircraft sitting around. Kids can go up and actually touch them, which children are very tactile. But the other thing is we have one of the largest military archives on the West Coast that is not governmental. So from a standpoint, if you want to do research, you want to come and see flying airplanes, you want to hear about the history, we can kind of cover all of that. And there are very few institutions that have that breadth. The veterans and the military are a melting pot of our society. A lot of different people from different backgrounds are thrown together. If you go back to the Greatest Generation, where we had compulsory service, where everybody got drafted in, everybody was in the military, and that was a big push. For that group, there's a lot of foundational work that they did for where we are in the history of the United States, which is very important. The other part of it is, now that we have volunteer military service, only 1 in 10 actually knows someone who is in the military. So it's an opportunity to help people understand what that service means, what it means to take the oath to defend the Constitution of the United States, and the sacrifices up to the ultimate sacrifice, which some of our veterans have made to defend our country. We have about 320 docents, the majority of which have some sort of military service background. And it can be in everything from aviation to, they could be in the infantry. Some of the folks that volunteer here built these airplanes. It kind of runs the gamut. But they can kind of talk to visitors and on the education side about first person stuff. This isn't theoretical where they're reading off a plaque. We have docents. We have one who was in the suborbital program who flew one of the F-104 starfighters into the stratosphere with a rocket engine. We have another docent that was shot down in an F-105. They run the gamut. We still have Greatest Generation docents that are here. Those folks are they have to be above 95 years old. They still volunteer. You can read about a plaque or listen to somebody that recorded something over your headphones or whatever. But it's a different thing to talk to somebody who actually lived that experience. It's much more powerful.
12 months, 12 causes, in partnership with Royal Emerald Pharmaceuticals.